Hey everyone, the checklist item I'm focusing on today is about ensuring the photos in your slides and presentations are representative of society. So basically just to consider diversity and inclusion in regard to the content that you're putting together for your course. So we'll focus on three different areas where you can kind of reimagine or update photos in your slides, and that's race, gender, and ability. Okay, so you might be thinking, why does this matter, Liz? Why do I have to update my awesome slides from 1998? Well, it matters because representation matters. It can shape both how minority students are viewed in society and how they view themselves. So, for instance, I teach primarily in our sport management grad program. If my slides only have white males featured in them, why would any female student or student of color in my class think they have any chance of being successful in the sport industry if all they're seeing are white males represented in the content? So representation matters not just for those minority students so that they can see themselves reflected in the content you're putting together, but really for all of our students because, once they get out into the real world and have their positions in our field, they're going to be exposed to a variety of different people. So they need to know and be exposed to this now. Okay, so we're going to cover three different topics, like I said. So the first one is race. So the first consideration here is that photos in your slides should include at least 25% people of color. So this one's pretty straightforward, right? You go through your slides, just take an inventory and see, do at least a quarter of the slides or the photos in my slides represent someone other than a white person, right? So making sure that you're representing people of color and people from a variety of races, right? Not just one particular race other than white or Caucasian. So this one's a pretty easy one to identify fairly quickly, and then making those updates, it's pretty simple. All right, the next one for consideration is photos in my slides include diverse genders. And this is kind of a two-part consideration or thing to consider. First, of course, we want to make sure that we're including both men and women in our slides. I mentioned sport management as my area of interest or topic that I teach, and this is just an example slide from my sales class that I teach. So, this slide is to prompt conversation about the importance of sales reps having an understanding of pricing and value. And for a long time, this slide had two male sales reps talking in it, and recently I updated it to make sure that I was also representing females as sales reps too, because there certainly are women working in this industry selling tickets. So this was an example of where I noticed that in some of my sales content, there were definitely more males than women. So I made that update. Okay, the second part of the gender piece is that this should go beyond just making sure you're including both men and women in your slides. You should also make sure that you're including at least some androgynous or non-binary people in your slides as well, because that is certainly a subset of our population that we want to make sure we're representing to our students. The last item for consideration is ability. So making sure that the photos in your slides include people with different abilities. And keep in mind, I'm sure a lot of us are already using photos of people with different abilities, but also think beyond kind of what your standard photo would be for this, right? If you're talking about a sport, for instance, where you're featuring people with disabilities, that's one content text for this, but we also want to make sure that we're including people with different abilities just doing everyday normal things, right? So here we have a student taking a yoga class. Here we have a group of people on some kind of outdoor recreation trip, and someone's in a wheelchair. So where the focus isn't that here someone has a disability and that's part of the conversation because of the sport that they're playing, we want to make sure that we're including people with different abilities just doing everyday normal things because that's what they do, and we want to make sure we're representing that. All right, you might be thinking, Liz, you have such great photos in this slideshow? Where can I find high quality, diverse images and for free? Two sites that I really like and I think include a lot of diverse images are Unsplash and Pexels. The great thing about these is they are free. You don't even have to sign up for an account. You can just Google them, type in keywords for images you're looking for, and they will come up. And then you can download the images for free and include them into your slides. So yeah, that is my presentation today on making sure that you're including and representing a variety of images in your slideshows. Thanks, everyone.